So Inez, tell me, with the newer hearing technology, what's the biggest difference that you've noticed?
That I hear better in crowds.
In the crowds? Okay, give me an example of a situation that you're hearing better in.
Just with a group together, and I don't have to ask and ask and ask.
Good. So you're not asking people to repeat themselves
Right.
like you were before. Now with your children, how are you hearing them? What's been the biggest difference with the family?
I'm just not around him enough to know.
Okay. So with Carrie, how are you hearing him? Better than before?
It's about the same.
Okay. Okay. Now, as far as what you said earlier, you said it's the best that what? With the hearing aids? You said it's the best that I've ever heard?
Now it's the best I've ever heard.
Good. So you're hearing better than you've ever heard before. On your day-to-day basis, what's the one thing that you notice? Why is it better than you've ever heard before?
It's clearer.
It's clear. Okay. Great. Thank you very much. Okay, so I just want you to tell me a little bit. What's the biggest difference you've noticed between your old hearing aids and the new ones?
Well, like at Easter, like I said, the children usually drowned out the adults that I'm trying to visit with, and since I got these now, first Easter, I can hear the adults.
Good.
Along with the children both. I can hear everybody, so that's a lot better than my old ones.
That's excellent. So as far as physical comfort, as far as the overall sound, what have you noticed there?
Well, they're so much clearer, and they pick up noises that the other ones never picked them up, like birds and things in the woods.
Good.
You can hear all that. So
Good. Good. Now you had just made a comment to me before that the old ones looked like dinosaurs.
they were huge and bulky and clumsy and not comfortable.
Okay.
But if you wanted to hear, you wore them. So now they're light, and I forget I have them in my ears.
Good. Good. Well, it sounds like you're doing great. They're smaller, they're more comfortable, and you're hearing better. What more could you ask for?
Nothing.
Okay. Good. Thank you. So Connie, tell me, for you, what has been the biggest difference with this hearing technology versus the old one?
I think the fact that it's much more comfortable. I used to have a big ear mold in my ear, and there are times when I'll go to bed at night and I actually forget I have it in my ear because it is so much more comfortable. And the other thing that I've really noticed is that it cuts out a lot of background noise where I had to push a button to do that on my old one. And the wind, don't have that background wind noise.
Good. Okay. What's the other major differences or changes that you've noticed as far as the overall experience, the old technology versus the new one? You addressed physical fit, you addressed the sound. Anything else that you've noticed as being a big improvement or difference?
Some sounds that I really had lost in my hearing that I thought were gone. One of the things that I've told the people at the More Hearing is that my mother's chime clock, I have a wonderful old clock of my mom's that has Westminster chimes, and I had sort of lost that tone to that clock, and also the ticking, which is real relaxing, and now I hear both things very well.
Good, good. Any last thoughts?
I think that I would like to say that More Hearing works for me because they gave me the chance to try so many different hearing aids before I found one that really worked for me, and they were so patient to do that.
Well, good. Thank you very much. So tell me, what is the biggest difference the two of you guys have noticed since Jim got the newer hearing aids?
Birds.
The birds?
Yeah.
Okay. Barbara, tell me a little bit about the experience yesterday.
We were watching the round one of the Masters on TV, and oftentimes with his old hearing aids, he couldn't even hear what was going on in the golf game. But he looked over at me yesterday and he said, "You know what? I can hear the birds singing in the background. So that's been a big difference for him, is being able to hear things like walking along. He said, I can hear my feet moving. I can hear the grass. And
How
that's really been an experience for him.
Good. So tell me a little bit about how these feel comfort-wise compared to the old ones.
I don't know. I have one.
Good.
That's the biggest difference.
You forget that they're there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they shower with me.
That's not recommended, I don't imagine.
Yeah. Not
No,
showering with them.
No. But I have to remind him, is what he's saying, because
Good.
he forgets they're there. And to take your hearing aids. No.
Good. Good. So overall, if you had to summarize it into the one thing that you've noticed, what would it be? The biggest difference?
There's two.
Okay.
One would be comfort, and two would be the action of the hearing aid. I
Good.
can hear things that I couldn't hear before.
Good. So the comfort and that you're hearing things you haven't heard before. Great. Anything else?
And for me, it's just been so great not to have to repeat everything 3 and 4 times. And he did have hearing aids before, old ones, and they never worked real well. And it was just, I didn't realize there was technology like this on the market, or we probably would have done it sooner.
Good. Good. Thank you. Okay, Dwayne, tell me, what has been the biggest improvement from not having hearing instruments to having the newer hearing technology?
They're able to hear the small sounds that you don't hear, like the birds or water running. The little sounds is what I can hear, and I really appreciate that. I'd forgotten what it was to hear them, and now I can hear them again, and I really like that.
Good. What has been the biggest change your family has noticed?
I'd say very little. My wife says I don't say what quite as often, but very little difference there. The TV isn't as loud.
Good. Good. So you're noticing a big change overall.
Yes.
Anything else that you've noticed or that you has been a big change for you in your life?
Not in particular. When I'm with a crowd, they bother some, but I can still hear better than I could. And it's an improvement, considerable improvement.
Good. Good. Well, thank you. Okay. So tell me a little bit about your experience with the hearing technology.
Well, before I had it, I couldn't. I had trouble hearing or understanding the message in church. The grandkids, they are very soft talkers, and it was difficult unless I was looking at them for me to understand them. And I could never hear Judy telling me to take the garbage out.
Okay.
And with the hearing devices, I can now hear and understand the message in church. I can hear the football game without having the volume up so
Good.
that the dog leaves the room. I still don't always hear the message to take the garbage out on the first time. That has to be repeated sometimes, but I don't think it's the aid.
Yeah, the selective hearing part.
The grandkids, it has improved hearing the grandkids. Still not totally 100% being able to hear them, but 90% that I can have a conversation with the kids without having to look at them to hear it. Sometimes in a restaurant, a noisy situation, I hear a lot more noise than I did before. And that sometimes is more than is necessary, but it's better to be able to hear, and even though I have to hear some of the other noise also.
Okay. Good. What would you say the number one biggest difference has been for you with this hearing technology?
That I can hear better.
Good.
And clearer.
Okay.
And some of the things that I thought might bother me, like riding the bicycle, the wind in the ears, it doesn't bother me. I can now hear traffic coming behind me on the thing, rather than we used to use a walkie-talkie, so Judy riding behind me could beat me when the traffic was coming behind me, because I couldn't hear it until it was right up next to me, and I can hear it now.
Great.
Coming behind me.
Great. Any other last thoughts?
Yeah, without using the magic word wish, it would have been nice if, when I first noticed my hearing going bad, when I was working, if I'd had my ears tested and made the purchase at that time, when my insurance would have helped.
So you wish you would have done it sooner?
Yeah, I don't use the word wish, but I would have chosen to do it sooner,
Okay.
knowing what I know now.
Good.